Nearly every ethnic group in America has a dedicated TV network.
Native Americans are the only ones that are underrepresented and underserved.
And yet, not only First Nations people, but tens of millions of Americans claim Native ancestry.
And many more have a strong connection to Native American culture.
There are 100 channels blooming now, which means there's room for many, many diverse voices, for many, many different kinds of programming.
There are statistics that support the idea that perhaps more than half the people in this country have Native blood or some kind of tie to Native Americans. I think also we tend to not recognize that people who are Latino or Hispanic are predominantly indigenous.
Native Americans have been in motion pictures since the beginning.
And while their depiction has oftentimes been inaccurate and misrepresented, the culture of America's first people has never failed to be a fascination to the world.
And yet, ironically, Native Americans have rarely had a public forum, a channel through which to tell our own stories in our own language, in our own way.
There's actually 1 billion indigenous people on this planet. So when you look at the world, we're actually, and from a global perspective, a really crucial and viable part of world audiences.
I think this is something that not only is overdue, but the wait is over.
There is a gap in the choices available on cable and satellite today.
A true Native voice is missing.
And there's a unique opportunity for this country's media companies to now lead a nation to do something that's right.
No one will see what you create unless you have a distributor.
What's happening now on television has got so many channels and so much material out there. People are looking for something different. And for people to see the Native American story and its culture as something different, although it shouldn't be, but if they see it as something different, I think they will reach out for it.
Well, Native content for an all-Native channel is the key. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to be in on.
And we need a station, a channel, that can bring our feelings to an audience, bigger audience.
What if we had a coast-to-coast network dedicated to 24 hours of Native programming?
Similar to BET, Telemundo, or MTV.
A channel where our history, our beauty, our sophistication, and our multifaceted culture is presented to the American public in an authentic and accurate way.
A channel that speaks to tribal communities across the United States and has significant crossover with other mainstream audiences, regardless of their ethnic background.
We are all sharing this great country of ours, and we need to hear each other's viewpoints and hear each other's voices. No group should have their voices silenced or marginalized, and by having a Native American channel, it will add another voice, and I think we can all learn from each other.
I think there's a great interest out there in the world of non-Native people that haven't heard the history.
I think it would provide us with a voice that has been missing for much too long.
So the importance we're talking about here is the establishment of a pure Native American broadcast channel driven by content created and presented by Native Americans.
And I think what is probably most important is that for these diverse generations to learn about who we are as a people, to learn our customs and our culture is vitally important to our existence.
And we need to know those stories. You can't say that they're not important. Now, they're essentially important to hear those stories. The medicines, the spirituality, the mysticism, and the survival instincts of as they say in Canada, the First Nations.
I know that my daughter would love to see empowered Native women on television and have people that she can look up to.
And I do think that the time to do this really is now.
I think change is very much in the air right now. And I think for Native Americans to take advantage of that and use that fact to promote themselves, because I think it's long overdue that they get represented fully and fairly.
Now's the right time, it's a different time,
So that it has been proven in my life and other lives that once you do something that is priceless, that lasts a long time, money follows.
Put a channel out there where they can give information about the Native people of this country and Canada.
I'll subscribe to it.
I would subscribe to an all-Native channel.
And to put it straightforward, I'm ready to watch a Native American Indian channel. Let's go watch it.
There's a market that is waiting.
There is an audience that is waiting.
The time is now.
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 Let us make this a reality together.
Are you ready to be a part of something big?